afternoon. Welcome to the informational for the X-Grants program. I would like to begin by just noting that we have received emails from several people reporting on issues and creating a one-pager. And so this functionality is now working on the website. If you're still experiencing issues, you can email us at xgrants@tamu.edu. So we'll divide this session into two parts. In the beginning, I will demonstrate some of the functionality on the website, and then we will address questions that you can send via xgrants@tamu.edu. Okay, so I will start. I am on the X-Grants website webpage off of the President's website under Initiatives. And so this is where the link typically takes you when you start. Okay, so I will go through a few things on this website because there's quite a bit of information here. So there is a tab called How It Works. And so we are now in step 2, profiles and one-pagers. So in this particular step, you will be able to create and edit profiles, and then also develop one-pagers, establish teams, and then submit the one-pagers. Okay, so just a highlight of some of the things that you may decide to do during this step. So when you are organizing your team, you will associate your projects with the set of themes that have been identified based upon the inputs from the projects, ideas, problems, ideas, and questions. Okay, and then you will also be able to edit or create a profile, organize a team, develop a one-pager. And so I will, so also on this page we have updated the FAQs, and so we now have FAQs related to this step. Some of these are based on questions that have been emailed to us and others that we felt were important to share at this particular time. And then lastly, because of some of the technical difficulties, we have extended the deadline to develop and submit one-pagers, and so that is now available here. So by April 2nd, so we extended it for a week, and so we made a few changes in some of the later dates to reflect that change. But you may notice that some of these are still sort of estimated dates, and will be firmed up as we move along in the process. Okay, so this is information that is public facing, and so you can see this information without logging in. And so if you then want to build a team and submit one-pagers, then you need to log in. And so you can log in with this link, or you can go to Xgrants. Well, you can log in to this link here. Okay, so I will take you to, I've already logged in. And so I think right now I'm on. So I've logged in, and so to the top right you'll see your name, okay, and there you can, you either will have a template, or you may have information if you had created a profile on the T3 program, okay, and you are able to edit any of that information. So one of the things that we encourage you to do is to actually identify the themes that you have expertise to address. And so you can do that by editing your profile, and then you go to this section and it actually has the various themes listed, and you can select particular ones that you want to associate and state that you have expertise to address. Okay. Okay, and so once you are finished with that, once you finish with that, then you can also add other information and then save your profile. Okay. All right, so let's maybe look at some of the information that is available behind this wall. So as you know, individuals were able to submit problems, questions, and topics. And so if you click on this link, you can actually see then those that were submitted in case you want to see some context. Okay, this tab shows the themes. So these were theme words that were generated based upon the problems, questions, and topics that were submitted. And so if you want to search through those theme words, you can see here they have these alphabetical tabs that will allow you to go in, or you can search on words. Okay? If you want to sort of see how these theme words were generated in a context, you can view this interactive Termsbury visual. That is, I guess, a part of the Voyant tool. And so as a result, like as an example, you could click on food, and then those that are highlighted are other words that were associated with food in the various problems, questions, and topics that were submitted. And then, as I mentioned, you also, if you want to see, for a particular word, that word and maybe how it was in a context in the different things that were submitted, you could also search through these topics. And this will show, like as an example, I typed in food, and then these are the different ones that were submitted that had the word food in it. Okay. Okay, and so then, so let's say you are working now to create a one-pager. So this yellow tab is the place that you would go to create that. And so one of the things, so when you go to create a one-pager, these are the various steps that you would go through. Okay, so first of all, in order to create a one-pager, you need to be a PI eligible, in a PI eligible position. Okay, and so if you are unsure if you're PI eligible, you can visit the VPR website, which sort of explains PI eligibility, or you can contact us at xgrants@TAMU. When you contact us by email, make sure you give us your name and your UIN so that we can look you up and reply to your email. Okay, the next thing is you'll start by putting in a title for your one-pager, so that's updating the one-pager name. And then you will select all applicable core themes up to 5 from the available themes. And then next you will select the appropriate grant type, pilot, planning, or other. And then you can develop your one-pager PDF. And so you can use the Word template, and we encourage to save it, so in case you want to go back and make some edits to it, and then convert it to PDF to upload it. It should not be more than 1 page. Now, you can decide to skip this stage in the very beginning and come back and upload the one-pager, and then you are able to continue to modify, change that one-pager until the submission deadline happens. Okay? There is a place where you will be able to check whether or not you want to let others view your PDF, and then you save, and then once you save the first time, then the functionality to add members to the team will become visible. So I will just show you a test for that. So I put in my name, and then I selected some themes that I want to have included, and so here I picked the planning, the type pilot as the grant type, and then I'm going to skip including my one-pager to start with. And note I don't have the allow others to view my PDF checked. Okay, and so then I save. Okay, so notice now that I have saved, okay, so I still have this information here, but now I have the ability to add members. And so, is it
502 000 608.
So if I add the UIN, I can now add another person. So I can add this individual, and then I can state the role. This is editable, but let's see, it said biomedical expertise. So I will be defining the role of this person and so there's now, this has been updated, and so now there's another person. I selected co-leader as their role, and it gives the name, the department of the person, and their role. And I'm able to remove them if I wish. Okay, so if I am looking for people who have expertise, then I can go to profiles, and I can search for individuals. So I could search for individuals by name. So I do the search, and I can get individuals with that as a part of their name. Or I could decide to search by people who have designated a particular theme word. So if I go here to energy, since I had picked energy, and I can do the search, and of course it's going to bring me back up. Okay, these are all the individuals who have energy, who have associated themselves as having expertise around the energy theme. And note that the information that it provides then for those individuals are their title and department, and this link will take you to their profile. But also it tells you maybe how many themes they've associated themselves with, how many Onepagers they are the lead or they are a member. And so, as I mentioned, you can click on the link, and it'll take you to the individual in case you want to see some other information about them. Okay? So, we've talked about creating the Onepagers. Okay? So this last one is Onepagers. So if I want to see the Onepagers that I have created up until this point, I can see that under My Onepagers. And then if I also want to see other Onepagers that have been established so far, okay, then I can see that through this list. So I can find that by searching on, themes. So maybe if I do energy again, then this is one that has been submitted with that particular theme. Okay, so then note that for a particular Onepager, then I can go and I can view the details of that Onepager. If that person has not allowed others to view the PDF, then I won't be able to open their Onepager yet. Okay, and also let me find another one. Also, when I go to a particular Onepager, I also, if they have team members, I can see the list of members, and then the link will take me to the profile of each one of those individuals if I want to know more about those individuals in terms of their title, rank, or bio, or other kinds of information. Okay. And then lastly, there is the ability to, when I'm in this, to add a comment to a particular, so let me maybe go back. And okay. Maybe I'll do this one so that he can. So I can also add comments to the bottom of an individual's one here. Okay, and so then the comments will show up in the particular Onepagers. Okay, so that's the basic functionality in creating and viewing the different Onepagers, and then also in providing comments. So the last point I wanted to make was to show you we have sort of, stated there is a template for the Onepagers, and they need to address these particular topics. So there are sort of sections on the template for stating your problem or question, defining the scope of the problem, describing the intellectual contributions, and then an explanation on the significance of the proposed research and its potential impact. And you can manipulate that to make it the Onepager. There will be, all PI eligible researchers can provide comments, and I showed that and how you can do it, and then there will be a review committee that will evaluate the Onepagers and select the teams to submit preliminary proposals. And you may recall that maybe we'll have about 24 to 30 preliminary proposals, or teams that will be selected to submit preliminary proposals. And then these are the evaluation criteria that will be utilized by the review committee. So, it addresses an overarching theme or themes, the strength of the interdisciplinary approach and scope, the significance of the research, the potential impact of the research, and large interdisciplinary teams. And that's really important. Okay, so that concludes the demo portion of this, and so I encourage you to submit questions by email, and I guess we have received some already, and so we will start with addressing those. If there is something also more that you want to see on the website, you can send us an email and ask us to go back and show something else.
Okay, so the first question, or a question here is, do the collaborators or all team members have to be from Texas A&M?
So there is a place here under the FAQs, right, that shows, that the program is open to all faculty, researchers, and staff at Texas A&M University, Texas A&M Galveston, Qatar, TEAS, AgriLife Research, AgriLife Extension, or TTI. Okay.
Are there budget constraints related to how much of the budget can support faculty FTE, staff salary support, or graduate assistantships?
The budget guidelines will be provided at the next step, and so those teams that are invited to submit preliminary proposals will be given some initial guidelines of, about that. So you don't have to worry about that at this step.
I think this refers to the themes and the way that themes were generated, or the theme words were generated. Are you able to find out the name of the individuals who submitted a particular title that turned into a theme word when searching the themes? And is this a way that we could start contacting people and making teams?
So we did not include the names of the individuals who submitted the problems, questions, or topics, because we opened that up to students and the broader community. And so what we encourage you to do is to search through the profiles, for the individuals who maybe have associated themselves with the theme words, or you can also go to, look for, individuals who have expertise by going to the Scholars at TAMU website. And so there's a link to it under the Step 2 descriptions under Organizing a Team, and they have details on that website on how to search for Texas A&M scholars who have expertise in particular areas. And then they actually also, we have a link to the YouTube video that they have created as a tutorial if you need to utilize that resource. Also, I imagine that in the comments section, individuals can read Onepagers, and they can, write a comment and say, I have expertise in this, area, if they want to communicate with a particular individual.
So,
I think you can move people down.
yeah. So The other question is, what is the difference between a lead, co-lead, and member of the X-Grants teams?
So I think this is, I guess, solely up to the team in terms of, how they want to show leadership. And so there can be just a lead, as in, the person who is, facilitating the project and serves as the main, contact. And there could be additional individuals that the team decides they want to designate, as co-lead. So that's solely left up to, we just put those roles in there because sometimes teams want to show, some individuals as perhaps having a higher role on a team than just a member. And a contributor maybe is what I would say a member probably is. So there is no advantage or disadvantage in having just a lead and all the rest are members, or several co-leads and a member. Okay, all right, so we think we have gone through the box, and so if there is another question that you have, we encourage you to email us at xgrants@tamu.edu. Anything else you think that we need to cover? Yeah, I think that the major questions were people getting the ability to create the one-pagers. And so now that I think that is shown. And so it's, I think, important for me, I guess, to point out that we provided this information that says that you need to be PI eligible to submit, but we have not placed a restriction. And so just because you're able to submit, you need to verify that you are PI eligible, because we will not be reviewing one-pagers submitted from individuals who are not PI eligible. So we really encourage you to do that.
So there is another question that says, please comment on expectations for planning grant, pilot program, or other in terms of composition or funding.
Right, okay. And so if we go to, we have something in the FAQs. Okay, because I think this was an earlier question. It was sort of, what are the guidelines for a pilot versus a planning grant? And so, while the terminology may vary by field, we've just sort of generally explained it here. And so the thought is that planning grants maybe entail planning activities for complex research projects, studies, or clinical trials. And on the other hand, pilot grants maybe involve exploration of the feasibility of a research approach or performance of preliminary studies. And in terms of funding duration, we're anticipating that pilot and planning grant will be funded for a maximum of 2 years, whereas the other grants will be funded for a maximum of 3 years. So the idea is that, these are larger ones, the other grants, and then pilots and planning, are smaller ones that might be 1 year, 18 months, or up to 2 years.
Okay, here's a question that says, this program seems to emphasize, in particular, large interdisciplinary teams as a criteria. What is the review committee's definition of a large team? For example, will a team of 6 to 8 be disadvantaged versus a team of, for example, 20? Team sizes can be difficult to target without the budget information coming in the next phase.
Right, and so in discussions with the steering committee, we decided that it might be artificial to put a number for large, particularly also that we have planning and pilot, grants, which, what I would say is that, this will be competitive, and so what you want to do is try to show that the team is able to address an interdisciplinary scope. in terms of the research project that that you're defining, and that will be that will sort of be what we'll be looking for. So I think you would be encouraged to try to form a large feasible team, and note that you have to define the role of each individual. So we won't be just looking at this one has 20 and this one has 6. The roles of the individuals and their ability to to add to the disciplinary breadth of the team will be a part of what will be judged.
Okay. Are more popular themes more likely to be funded? Are the number of keywords that are associated with a one-pager seen as being more valuable?
No.
Okay.
No, that won't be. I think the idea is to be able to show that this is an interdisciplinary endeavor, that Texas A&M has expertise. And when I say Texas A&M, I'm using the Texas A&M broad terminology, meaning inclusive of all the different groups that was mentioned earlier.
So the next question is, will reviewers be able to see the profiles, in other words, names, themes, bios, etc., of all members of a team who are associated with a single one-pager?
Yes. So if you go to the OnePager tab here, then you can actually see this is the list, and you can look at any of these. The only thing that a team can choose to make not visible during the submission stage is their one-pager description. But you would be able to see all the members that are on that team, at least so far, up until that point, and the theme words they've chosen and all of the other particulars.
And the reviewers.
And then, of course, the reviewers will have all of this information.
Okay, we have another question that says, is it possible to combine types of grants? I either have a planning and pilot grant in the same proposal.
No, I don't. That right now we don't have the option to do that, and I think that the thought is in defining the scope of work, you need to decide if you're at the stage where you want to pursue a pilot or planning, or perhaps you're more mature in your efforts, and you therefore want to just go after a more basic standard one.
Okay. Are there any restrictions on having collaborators, i.e. sub-awards from outside the institutions if they add expertise if they're needed for their expertise for the project?
And so we do have an FAQ that I guess addresses that question, and so can recruit experts from the outside. So outside researchers will be allowed to work on funded projects but not utilize X grants funding. And so you can list them, you can't list them as team members because of course they wouldn't have a Texas A&M UIN, but if you want to mention that somehow in your write-up, you can do that, but you would not be able to utilize the funding to support them. Okay, so we've gone through, I guess, all the questions in the mailbox. We'll hang on for a few more minutes in case there are others who are sending questions. So if you came on late, I just want to remind you that we have extended the deadline for one-page submittals to April 2nd to provide more opportunity. Also, if you need to facilitate meetings face-to-face with your potential team members, the deans have asked that we encourage you to reach out then to your maybe the associate deans for research or other staff, and they can help facilitate the making reservations for rooms. Okay, so what we'll do is maybe we'll stick on for 5 more minutes. You're welcome to leave, and just in case we have a few people who might come on late or we get some other questions.
How many one-pagers can one person submit?
Okay, so how many one-pagers can a person submit? We have no restriction on that, but I think if you talk to people on the steering committee, and then I guess I would say that what you want to do is present, as strong a team and one-pager as possible, and so you might, want to strategize the utilization of your time and really trying to, bring forth something like that, because it will, I think, be very competitive in being selected to be invited to the next stage.
Okay, here's another one. Are there any restrictions to propose a book as the main product of the project?
I think as long as you can meet the guidelines of the program and present, something, that it's interdisciplinary research, you have an interdisciplinary team, and, show that, it has impact, so.
Okay. Are members of the advisory committee available to provide any guidance?
So yes, there is a place under, I think, the contact team, no, where is it?
It is somewhere.
I think in the FAQ? Yeah. So in the FAQ, I think there is here. Who can I contact? And so this is the general email address, and then we have a link to the steering committee. And their email addresses are here, and they have agreed to serve as a resource. So you're welcome to contact as many of these individuals as you like to ask questions. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time today, and I hope that we have provided responses to your questions, and I want to thank the DPR team for their support.
The deadline was extended.
Okay, so just another reminder, the deadline for one-pagers have been extended to April 2nd. And of course, if you're having any issues in being able to create one-pagers, feel free to email us as X-Grants. We sort of fixed that functionality late this morning. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Okay.
We can answer it by email. We can
Those
take
are
it.
the question that others might benefit.
So for the future, it says for future guidelines on budget, would like to know if are there restrictions for projects below 100K?
So I think that the question is asking, can you submit a project, with a budget for less than 100K? I think that an individual could do that. I guess without seeing, what the contents are, I just remember sort of the intent in the sense that we're trying to have a large interdisciplinary team, and so you would wonder how you might be able to support the work, for such a small amount, but it might be possible.
That's it.
Okay. All right, so thank you all for joining us. I think what we'll do is we will continue to or check the emails in case some people send emails that way, and then also, I guess in case someone decided to join late. But you're welcome to leave, and we will have the video, I guess the audio, available on the link here, just as we have the information from the first information on February the 20th available. Okay. So thank you very much, and good luck.